It's been a hot minute, but we're back with another Age of Mythology Retold point of view casted game. So we're watching this from the point of view of Keen Servo, which is a guy, I believe he goes by Kido or Kido, I'm not really sure how to say his name. If somebody knows, please let me know. But he has like 3 accounts in the top 20. One called Kido, Servo, and Bones. Today he's playing against Chemo, who's always in the top 5. But yes, Keen Servo, so he's obviously part of the Keen clan, and he's just a very, very strong player. So we're watching him play the Loki against Zeus. So we're going to see what we can kind of do as the Loki on a map like Oasis. So this is Oasis, which is normally pretty defensive, as there are these like lots of trees that spawn in the middle. It looks like this variant has one where the middle is open. Sometimes the middle is completely closed. So this makes it, I mean, there's a slightly more aggressive path, more to wall off, but it's still a large map with not much hunt on it, so not too much to fight over. Normally there's just one pack of hunt somewhere. We can see that, or there's actually quite a lot of baboons over here, and then his giraffes should be over here. So not as much as some other maps. And it looks like he's going straight away for an aggressive scout to kind of try and get a lot of goats. You want to kind of go forward and then work your way back along one side rather than just kind of do your side and then your other side. It's just a little bit, you get a little bit more goats that way than just scouting your side. And it looks like he is getting lucky here where the enemy Chemo scout of the Zeus player has gone around the other side. So they're probably going to end up with quite an even amount. He's also spotted some here with his goats moving backwards rather than just clicking that button to the town center that I really like to press. He's done it so that these guys are doing a little scout action themselves, which is a pretty good idea, to be honest. It's something that I don't really think about. But he hasn't come across the enemy scout, so all of these should be coming home. He wants to keep his berserk kind of close to these, and that's why he's doing this weird patrol kind of thing, because he doesn't want these to go. These are 300 food each, and he's got 8 of them, so he's going to have a ridiculous amount of food there. So he wants to come back, build his temple at home, and then it'd be interesting to see what he goes for on a more defensive style map. Does he still want to go for the Forseti with the healing spring, the trolls? The trolls are obviously going to be good against, and here the hearses with the extra speed are going to be good against the centaurs, the Hermes centaurs, which could possibly come through. Or maybe he'd go for Heimdall, which is the more defensive choice, where you would get access to the fast train time of your villagers or safeguard for those cheaper town centers. So we'll see what he goes for. Here, going for a pretty standard advance time. The other thing is, if you want to go for 2 town centers, do you want a fast advance time, or if you're staying on one, do you just want to delay it to like a 4:30, 4:45 kind of thing? Well, it looks like he's going for a pretty standard 4:15 advance time, pretty standard for Retold. And it looks like he has found his second town center. We've seen that there isn't much on that second town center, but it just depends whether he wants to go for it anyway. Villager split. He's kept 8 on the food just to finish it up, but we'll see what he goes for afterwards. Yeah, it doesn't look like he's going for a town center, so we'll see how he plays it. Has there been any relics uncovered? He's got a Scarab Pendant, which is more damage for Siege, which isn't the most exciting relic in the world. He hasn't found this one, but we have Hero Lifesteal here, which is decent. 10% is not too much, but I mean, it's just something, isn't it? And then Myth Unit Special Attack Recharge Time. You really want to take that away from the Zeus player, because those Minotaurs getting their extra attacks more often, or the Hermes centaurs, depending on which one it is. And then Nose of the Sphinx, 15% base for buildings. So this house has done its job. He's basically spent 45 wood here to see that the settlement is going up. It's something that you would expect anyway, but you definitely want to drop something on it or leave something over there to make sure. Something you can do is leave a goat over there, but obviously you then give the goat over. Looks like a hearse is coming over to kind of delay the house going down, but it's not really gonna. Maybe he wants to get some chip damage on the Minotaur, but Chemo's a very strong player, not gonna let that happen. And it looks like he's hitting the giraffes away, so there isn't free hunt underneath. So if our Keen Servo player here, if he wants to stay aggressive, stay one town center, then he wants to put the pressure on, and being able to hit these giraffes away from the town center will definitely help him do that, because this is one of the only hunt sources on the map currently. And it looks like Chemo just wants to fight with his villagers, but there is a troll. 2 hearses down here, so they'll easily be able to scare this Minotaur away. A little bit of a ghost building situation. Huge attack from the troll there. Hearse might go down, but he's definitely going to get 1 villager kill here. Bolt on the troll, but does get 1 villager there for a little bit of Hearse HP. You could even drop your healing spring here. Wouldn't mind seeing a healing spring dropped on this forward position, because you know that this is where he wants to put the pressure on. And you're going to be able to get more units out than your opponent, because they're spending an extra 50 food every 15 seconds when you're not. Minotaur needs to go down. Unfortunately doesn't. Couldn't get that last whack off. Might have even been a bit of speed walking there, but does manage to put on a bit of pressure. So looks like he's going for pure longhouses. So 3 longhouses down. There are not any of the other buildings down. This guy. We are completely blanking on what it's called. The one which gets your raiding cavalries, your hearses, and whatnot. So basically just wants those cheap units. Here we go. There's the healing spring. Bit more defensive position. Probably a better position than I suggested, because he might try and steal this forward settlement there. And just chasing that Minotaur away. Looks like there will be a military barracks drop down, which we have already spotted with the throwing axeman down. Should be able to get 1 more villager kill as well. Also scouting the rest of the map just to see if there was any hunt over this side. Already house down. He might even drop a house over this side as well. And proper going aggressive here. Being able to get another villager. Loses the Ulfsark there. Loses the Berserk, but it's not really a big deal. Getting these Berserks out just because they train so quickly and they're pretty cheap. This guy's very low HP. If we can just spot that. Well, it looks like this is the place to put aggro on. You've got the gold mine here, the wood line, and this food that he's been pushed off of as well. Another villager kill. So villagers are pretty equal. He's 6 behind, or 5, which isn't too bad considering that this is 700 resources has been spent here, and then an extra 50 food every 15 seconds. And it looks like Chemo doesn't have any military buildings or any military units, so he's just choosing not to get any of those out. And super cheeky wall over here. I mean, it's an expensive wall. It's cost an absolute fortune to put up, and it's going to take ages for this one guy. But to stop this gold mine, and basically just secure this whole side of the map, without that, he's going to have to come all the way around here. And that just puts on so much pressure. These walls, these are the walls that the Norse players always put down. And it's even worth sending a villager forward if you're not playing as Norse and doing something like this, if you're the 1 town center player. And also he has decided to go for a 2nd town center. It's something that you can do if you get a bit of pressure on. You know that you've kind of pushed back the opponent in terms of you've dealt a bit of damage to them. So actually getting this town center up slightly later, you're pretty much even footing with your opponent then. But he is going to end up being a few villagers behind. Great Hall coming down now. That's the name of the building. Tell you what, sometimes your brain just doesn't work. Also managing to get these baboons too. So they take a while to shoot down, and they are 100 food each. So they're kind of annoying to shoot down, but I mean 100 food. I think there was like 10 here, so you get like 1,000 food plus the lions that have 100, 150 each. And we kind of slowed the game down a bit. I was just going to say, probably raiders might come out now just for a little bit of, obviously drop the Great Hall down, but just to get in quickly, deal some damage, get out. And the healing spring was definitely worth dropping down here. Also, maybe even putting a wall this side so he can know if Chemo was to ever leave the base. Also seen quite a few archers here, which is why the raiders are such a good shout. So what he does here is decides to get down all of those hoplites first. Restoration does come in, loses a couple of units, but that is a restoration down. But what he wanted to do was take down those hoplites with those throwing axemen, and then all that's left is the back line, and they get absolutely smoked by all of these units. Archers only really counter if they can deal damage from afar and don't take damage themselves, because they are so weak. They have 65 HP, hardly any armor, compared to something like a throwing axeman, which is kind of the equivalent. It just has so much more armor and a bit more HP as well. Pegasus coming to have a look. Another Great Hall coming down, seeing the amount of archers coming out. So throwing axeman raiders is a pretty good comp here. Also deciding to get some trolls out. any myth units against the Greek classical fight is gonna work out very well because they only have 2 heroes, and if they don't have myth units themselves, then they really struggle with enemy myth units, especially a ranged one like a troll, where Jason or Heracles are going to have a really hard time actually getting onto that troll. So it would be good just to spend all of your favor on trolls, and it looks like he is also getting Cave Troll, which boosts the special attack of the boulder by 100%, and it does a larger surface area. It's absolutely huge. We can see it's actually getting more of an equal game, as we said. So we've got 80 population to, or 86 population to 66. All of these military buildings are all just constantly queuing out. So probably can take this fight, but it's obviously something that Keen, Servo, Kido will not be able to see. It's also, Chemo is sneaking this gold mine, and he's decided not to go for this food though, which is interesting. Maybe just not valuing it, having to move out. Oh, cheeky raid with the hoplites there. Should be able to chase these down with this amount of raiders, though. I mean, there was only a few hoplites. Even though they are counters to the raiders, you can just run them down with just lots and lots of units. They're probably going to be hiding in the corner somewhere. Here they are, hiding out the way. Being very, very sneaky. Mark it down. Pre-queued Bragi, so probably not going to build any more units out. It's also... Did he get a village center? Or third town center here? No. He's just queuing dwarves and gatherers out of the one. Just because you see the 3 here, I thought he might have built a village center. I was like, wow, that's a wild thing to miss, but no. Hoplites coming in for another raid. Only 2 throwing axemen here, so these dwarves definitely need to run away. Might end up losing 1 dwarf. This is one thing that separates some of the higher level players from the lower level ones. It's just these little raids when you're kind of behind, just putting in, dealing so much damage. I'll lose so many dwarves here. Troll special though. But few dwarves for just the 4 hoplites definitely worth. And while this is going on, the raids coming in, all of those farmers had to be garrisoned inside the town center. There is a wall coming up, but these should be able to take down an unfinished wall very quickly. Just needs to focus on it because the finished wall would take too long to take down, and he was a little bit late there, so needs to run away. But basically just archers, so the raiders should be absolutely fine. Getting through Bragi and then just queue, like just a huge queue of units. Deciding not to get some of the upgrades for them, just favoring just mass units instead, and managing to get a raid on this gold mine. Raiding 2 places is always the way to go if you can do it. Flaming weapons could drop down and massacre so many of these villagers. Probably going to save it for the army, but needs to make sure all his units are in one place. I mean, so many units ahead now. Looks like Chemo has hit the next age at the same time. So gets his Hydra, gets his Bronze. Bronze against Flaming Weapons. They kind of cancel each other out to some extent. I think Bronze was more powerful. It has been nerfed slightly. So maybe they're pretty... Oh, but then so's Flaming Weapons. So you would think that the Bronze still wins out. Battle Boars coming in. Looks like there was a cheeky Draugr spawn there. Unfortunately, doesn't manage to get that back in time. The Draugrs are so slow. And unfortunately, he can't mass them because he is not Frey. But heavy toxin compared to heavy infantry is coming in, and only medium raiders. If he can manage to get heavy raiders in, this fight will go so much better for him, even though he really does have the numbers. But copper shields, copper armor, copper weapons. He's massed out his units now. He just needs all the upgrades for them. Also pre-queuing that heavy cavalry. He needs to kind of wait for that. Look, but decides to delete the buildings. Flaming weapons in. Bronze actually came down kind of late there. Got a decent few seconds of value out of that flaming weapons push. And then the distraction with the raiders. Looks like Chemo doesn't have ballistics. So the raiders are actually putting on a clinic there of just dodging arrows. And now is able to take them out. And even with the bronze, these guys are just so weak. Got that League of Legends micro coming out, but I'm not sure whether many of these tox will we'll survive. Might be worth just right-clicking the throwing axeman kind of over here somewhere to then all attack together. But I mean, actually, with that special from the Einery there, speeding up as well. Gold mines basically all secured because this is the only one he can realistically go for. These ones have been walled off since the day began. And now, what can Chemo really do here? This also got walled off. I definitely missed this, but this is what I wanted earlier, just so you just completely trapped him in. And these are the notes that I need to take, because I hate playing 2 town centers. If I can play 1 town center, I really want to. But looks like he's going for Mythic Age here. Hillfort going down, 1,400 gold in the bank. Can easily buy some food if he really wants to. Thought about tier for the Fimbulwinter, and it looks like this gold mine is going to get grabbed. But I mean, how much time has it taken for these villagers to walk all the way here and then drop a storehouse, take down this wall here? But he did think about tier for those berserk upgrades and the Fimbulwinter, but looking like it's hell. Hell is the choice. Can definitely buy a decent amount of gold there. Market going up. Looks like his market, I think he deleted it earlier to get access to the fight. Just wanted the better positioning, and definitely worth it just to drop that down. Doesn't really have doesn't have any favor in the bank for something like fire giants or whatever giants he really wants to go for. Decided to go for the battle boars instead. But just the Nidhogg and just the ability to get the champion infantry, champion cavalry will help him win this next push. He just wants one more push over this side on this gold mine while keeping some sort of defensives here. And as I say it, the hill fort is already up, and this will stop any villagers coming in. Could also drop a second one here, so if the villagers want to hit this down, they'll then get attacked by the other one, but probably doesn't even need it. There is some decent defenses coming up here, though. The fortress is coming up. If we could get some Ulfsarks coming in, the Berserks are trying to get built, but because there's so much defenses this side, it means that this town center is basically free to be attacked. And these battle boars are very strong siege units. If you want, especially in your team games, you can just build like 5 or 6 of these and just go around raiding town centers. He's very strong with their, I think it was 20 crush damage per attack, but that's with the Einari special. And then when they get to the Mythic Age, even more. Huskarls trying to come in, although Hippaspis are here. Huskarls do get teared down pretty quickly by those Hippaspis. Obviously there for the Tox, but wants to run away here. Takes down the town center. Does the job. Also getting out some Godi. Expecting some myth units to come in, perhaps. Godi are not the strongest against human units. Also trying to mine this gold away. He definitely didn't need to do this. Just wanted to do this to kind of take it away from Chemo. But actually losing a lot of dwarves here. But the Nidhogg can come down this side. Can also come down over here on the gold mine, which is exactly where he chooses to do it. Nidhogg special going to come in. And those gold miners are going to get burned. And really nice micro cancel there. You can use the special and then basically spam click and it will stop as soon as it possibly can and stays in the right position, because otherwise it would use its special and come all the way down here and then be out of position. So really good trick there. And these guys won't be able to get their fortress up. Also keeping a little bit of aggression on this bottom side. Oh, the Nidhogg. He's very fragile. He's a glass cannon myth unit. Just absolutely burns the villagers. Has got to be careful for these guys, though. They can shoot upwards, even the Jason. So the Nidhogg does have to run away because he's, very, very fragile. Manages to get a rock giant spawn as well. Absolutely huge for taking down buildings. Bringing the portable rams out too. Champion throwing axeman in. Looks like Jason goes down. All of these villagers are so low HP. Managing to stop this gold mine. There hasn't been anything through this middle bit either. And here comes the fire giants to push down this side. But this is the side that he needs to go for. And just a really clean game by Keen Servo here. Kido. Really, really nice play. It's something that I really want to learn how to play, is the 1 town center versus 2 town center. I just feel like it's just much more fun for me to be the aggressor, and I think this is how it's done. Put them in their box with this wall here, and then just full force this side, and yeah, really, really well played. If you have anyone else that you want me to cast and watch, please let me know. And if Kido has any socials, let me know as well, because I'll link them in the description. And I'll see you in the next one.